This is the April 13th Library Trustees meeting. I will call it to order at 5:11. All right, and we will start with March 16th minutes. Right, that was just that little meeting we had to approve the other March minutes, the March 9th minutes, I think. Is that the date?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So,
Right, the date,
Beth,
right.
you got all the minutes and the reports from everybody?
I don't think I got those minutes.
The March 16th?
15th.
It was just the
Was it the 15th or the 16th?
16th.
16th.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a special trustees meeting, and then
You
to,
didn't come, Bob.
I
right,
didn't know.
No, it was just to approve the minutes. Because we discussed Beth becoming interim trustee and what steps we had to take for that to happen.
mhm,
And we discussed payroll signing because Jean was leaving
mhm.
and got that all out of the way. So that was approved so that we could send it to June.
Mhm. So that was just you and me. So we're the ones that have to approve those minutes, correct?
And yeah, Beth and Jean were both there. And Beth is
Oh,
a trustee now.
but wasn't then.
It wasn't then.
So she should probably abstain.
Okay,
Do you think? Because she wasn't approved trustee yet.
Yeah.
so I abstain.
So you just don't
Yeah.
approve them.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any questions? Anybody? Comments, concerns about those minutes?
I do not.
I
Right.
do not.
I will move to approve them as submitted.
I second Linda Yates.
All right, a roll call vote to approve the March 16th minutes as submitted. Lynette Wheeler, I approve. Linda Yates.
I approve.
All right, approved unanimously. And we'll move on to our joint meeting minutes with the select board for the April 5th meeting. My printer is a little wonky, but is Beth listed on here as being present?
I can look it up. If you give me a minute.
Like I can just barely see my name and I can just barely see Chris Keefe's name. But like
I recorded all the people who were at the meeting, but if you hold on a minute, I can.
Beth did come. You came, right, Beth? You did, because we congratulated you.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry.
No problem. No worries.
And I have new software on my computer, so it takes a little longer for me to figure it out. Here we are. And library minutes, and this was 4/5, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Lynette, Linda, Scott Hawkins, Chris Keefe, Margaret Stone, Margaret Nartowitz. I did not have Beth down. Should I have done that?
Yes. So she was there.
Ooh, sorry about that, Beth.
Yes, sir.
All right, I will add you.
Thanks.
Okay, so I will make that correction.
Okay.
Okay. And then I will post them once they're approved.
All right. Any questions on those minutes from anybody else?
No.
All right. I will move to approve them as amended.
I, Linda Yates, second.
All right. A roll call vote to accept the minutes as amended. Lynette Wheeler, I approve. Linda Yates.
I approve.
You have Beth do this one. You weren't sworn in yet.
I wasn't sworn in yet at that time, no.
think she
All
should
right.
abstain from that too.
All right, so approved unanimously as amended.
Should I note that Beth was, that Beth abstained because she wasn't,
You can.
okay,
You can just say Beth didn't take part in the roll call vote because she wasn't technically sworn in at the time of the minutes, the
Uh-huh.
time the minutes were taken. I mean, she has been sworn in since.
Right.
Yes.
What, Bob, what do you think? She's sworn in
Um,
today. Should she be approving minutes even though she wasn't sworn in the day the minutes were taken?
I'll have to say no, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. If we have to, we'll reapprove the minutes.
All right, so I will, correction. So that actually was approved with correction, with Beth added, correct?
As listed as attending the meeting, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to the director's report.
Oh, didn't we have another set of minutes or did I miss something?
No, we approved the March 9th minutes.
Oh, that's
at
right.
the March
That's right.
16th mini meeting,
Yeah,
so that we could do that in
Post it.
time for that payroll period,
that's right.
because Jean left us with such short notice.
Okay. I forgot. I did read those as well.
Did you have any questions about them?
I don't.
All
Uh,
right.
Did everyone receive the director's report and the financial report?
Yes,
Good.
Okay.
I do.
I did neglect to add one thing. First of all, I just want to welcome Beth and thank her for taking the interim position, and welcome to the library trustees officially.
Thank you.
All right. One thing I neglected to add was the Friends of the Library had a meeting, their first one since last November, on April 7th. And Lynette was able to attend, representing the trustees, some of whom I don't think you had met before, right?
Yeah, there was two that I hadn't met before.
Met before. So most of the friends have been with us for a while. We had a few new, active members. The fact that they meet at 11 o'clock on Wednesdays is a little bit of a drawback for some people, but anyway, they do a lot. They do a great job, and we're in pretty good shape. We didn't spend normally a lot of the money that they raise is spent toward children's programs or programming in general. So since they did pay for the Zoom membership for the youth services, which was very helpful. But there were a few programs that they paid for, but not, some of them had to be canceled because they were supposed to be live programs. They were also funding from the Cultural Council, Berlin Cultural Council. So in terms of the rest of the director report, I will mention I did have a department head meeting this morning. I did ask Margaret about the septic. I know we're going to talk about that later. We have it on the agenda later, but it's always on my report. So
Right.
like I should mention it now, but I really don't have much to report other than what's in the report.
Okay.
We don't have any definite starting date. It's going to be in May. One thing that has to happen first is that they have to construct a fence, kind of like a construction zone, to keep people out. And Margaret assured me that I would be kept in the loop in terms of when they're going to start and what the timing is going to be. Because we did have an issue when the electrician showed up to do more work on a day when we were open. I mean, the one thing we definitely need to be open, even though the building is closed, is we need electricity. So that's crucial, and I was a little upset that they didn't tell us. But in any case, we'll just move forward now. Let me see. We did receive the second half of our state aid payments. And the town treasurer, Dennis Farabee, alerted me that the money is in the bank. So we did receive $4,597 this year, which is quite a bit actually higher than we've received in the past few years. So that was good news. Let me see. We have been talking more about opening by appointment. We talked at it at almost all of our last several meetings. And I think one thing that may interrupt any plan is the septic work. Since we may not have a bathroom at that point. So we may or may not be able to keep the library open. As I mentioned before, the one thing we need for sure is electricity. So we'll see how that all works out. And I'll keep you posted when I get, some starting and hopefully finishing dates on that. As you know, Lynette and Linda usually have you sign some warrants for me. Beth, the warrant system is the way that we pay bills in town. So it all has to go on a warrant. It has to be approved by the trustees. And then I give it to the town accountant. So if you look in the spreadsheet under each month, you'll see the warrants that were paid that month. So if you have any questions too on the spreadsheet, just let me know. But in any case, I'm going to need for you all to sign some warrants. So the way we've proceeded in the past, Beth, is that you guys sign a pile of them for me, so I don't have to get your signatures every time that I need to pay a bill. And so now that we have a new trustee, and we need all 3 signatures on it. So I'm gonna try to arrange that with you all. I can leave them outside and you can come by the library anytime it's convenient and just sign them and leave them for the next person.
That's in the
Okay.
mailbox.
Yeah, I think I'll probably just leave them in the US mailbox, like our mailbox. Or I can leave them on the pickup table where we're doing the curbside pickup.
That might be.
Either way. That might be a little better because it could get messed up with sometimes a mailbox gets jammed up with a whole bunch of, magazines and junk mail and catalogs and what have you, just like everybody else.
Okay.
Just like at home.
So we'll find the warrants in a box on the table.
Yes, I'll let you know when I got them out there.
Okay.
I'll probably just do that tomorrow.
You'll email us and let us know.
I will, yeah.
Okay.
And I'll maybe put like 20 of them out there. I'll leave them out there first thing, so you would have the entire day.
What's first thing for
And
you?
if you can't make it by, tomorrow, just come when you can. I
Okay.
tried to pay some bills this week with using the warrants that were already previously signed. So we'll see if that works out.
First thing for you, Bob. What time in the morning will
So
they be
I'm
out?
sorry.
What time in the morning will they be out there?
At the latest 11,
Okay.
and then I'll leave them there till 6.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to email us. We'll just stop by.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is that like you go in the door and there's like, I haven't been by
No.
lately.
Yeah,
Right
so on the front door, we have a
Yep.
table set up right outside the door. And
Okay.
that's where we've been leaving materials for people to pick up. We leave
Okay.
it there in a bag with their name on it. So I'll put them in an envelope and I'll just write, warrants on them.
Okay.
Warrants for signature, yeah.
Perfect. All right.
Bring a pen down with you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll go down at lunch or if I'll go down after work, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah. And it's something, if you can't get away, I could just bring them to your house and you can sign them. We'll make it work whatever way,
Okay.
convenient or helpful. And I may have to have you, Beth, sign the warrants that I turned in today, if June may question that.
Okay,
So I'm not sure.
Okay.
Anyway, I needed to pay some bills, so I just submitted it today.
okay. I don't go far,
Um,
so.
Yeah, all right, and I think that's, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, our library assistant Katie Lopez resigned a couple of weeks ago. I think I may have mentioned that to you folks
Yeah.
individually, but I don't know if I brought it up at the last meeting.
Thank you.
So we did get the job posting approved by the Personnel Committee.
Okay.
And I posted it yesterday on the Mass Board of Library Commissioners job website. That's where we get the most, direct contact with people that have library experience. This library assistant job, the 10 hours a week, it's not rocket science. What we're doing is you can find very capable people that haven't worked in libraries, but we used to post it in the Worcester Telegram in different places, but it costs $250, and we don't generally get a good return on that. We get a lot of people applying who really don't have the qualifications. Not that there's a ton of qualifications, but in any case, it can be a tricky position to hire for, just being 10 hours. But we already had 3 applicants in the first several hours that it was posted, and
Excellent.
they all were people that would be worth talking to.
So Bob, it has already been approved by the Personnel Committee and it's posted,
It's
correct?
posted. The Personnel Committee also wanted to take a look at the job description. And they wanted me to post a link to it. They're not meeting again till April 21st. So I asked them, I asked Margaret, could I just go ahead and post it? And I'll post the link as soon as they approve it. And then it hasn't been posted on the town website yet because they wanted to have that link. But I think I'm going to try to get it posted there as well sooner than later.
So it's posted without it being approved by the Personnel Committee?
The job,
ad was
the
approved,
job posting is
wasn't it?
approved. It's just that there's a job description.
Oh,
Like
it's a job-
officially, here's all the duties of the
Okay.
job. And they
That-
wanted to post a link to that.
Okay,
That's not something you can normally post on a job website. They're very standard format. So
and where did you post it?
the MBLC, Mass Board of Library Commissioners job website.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
and that's, there's all kinds of library jobs there.
Yeah,
Everyone who's looking for someone for their library pretty much posts there in
Mm.
Massachusetts and all around New England even. So you get a good return and it's free. And it takes, a few minutes just to put the information in. We have it posted until filled, but normally it stays up on that site for 6 weeks before they take it off.
okay. Thank you.
And unless you have any questions, that's all I have for director report.
Are you gonna send the copy of the contract out?
I thought I had. Did I not send it to you yet?
I didn't see it yet.
All right, I'll do it right now.
See it, Linda or Beth?
Sorry about that.
No worries. Anybody else have anything about the director's report? Questions, comments? All right.
All
I
set, thank
move to accept the director's report as submitted.
Linda Yates, I said second.
All right, a roll call vote to accept the director's report as submitted. I, Lynette Wheeler, approve. Linda Yates,
I approve.
Beth Christensen.
I approve.
All right, director's report approved unanimously as submitted. Beth's first act as trustee. Woohoo!
Nice job.
Hard work, huh? All right, on to financials.
All right,
I just have one question.
oh, sure.
Um, supplies under adult materials,
Yep,
everything's very much in the red, except for one of them is not. Is that gonna balance it out? I feel like maybe we touched on this before, but
we did. Um,
because like children's is way low
it's way low, yeah.
and this one's
So,
way high, so it kind of it's gonna work itself out.
right.
I just
So
never seen that on the report before.
in in our actual totals, so the, say on the ledger that I get from the town accountant, um, she will break things down into wages and expenses. So all these categories that I have here, that's just for our information for the
Okay.
most part, and it helps me to complete a report I have to do to be state certified.
Okay.
But on her ledger, at the end of January, which is the last summary that we got, we were at 51% for the first 7 months of this fiscal year.
Okay.
All right, so that's really more important. This is for us,
Okay.
and you're definitely correct. It's, we are kind of way over in some categories. It's not really that much over. It looks like a lot when you see the red and you see 128%, but
Yeah.
it will even out. We did make some. We did do some spending on children's materials in the last. I just submitted a couple of bills that were fairly large.
Okay.
So, it's a concern, but it's the overall spending on the wages and on expenses. That is the main thing to keep our eye on. And the other thing is that in the past, I've mentioned this before, that we have to spend up to 19% of our appropriated funding for materials, but they're waiving that again this year. So obviously they still want you to spend on materials what you can, but they're not holding everyone to those percentages. So we won't have to hit 19% necessarily. And it's a little tricky for us being a small library. We've ended up spending a lot more on ebooks, contributing to the ebook catalog. Uh, and that matches what our patrons' behavior as well, especially since COVID and the library's been closed. The circulation of ebooks has even increased, and that's what's driving our circulation and keeping our circulation up. That is all factored into total circulation.
Okay.
Yeah, so our spending is fine at the moment. We did, one of the reasons our library assistant Katie left was she had a lot of family obligations. Didn't get into too much detail, but she has another job. This was just a second job, and she was missing a lot of time. You can see by the wages paid out, she's only at about 40%. We should be at 75%. So unfortunately, I didn't want to let her go. She was really good when she was here, but then she started not being here a lot. And, so it does become a problem, especially, with a small staff. It's only 10 hours, but if one of us are down, we need to take time off or whatever, then it becomes really critical to have another person.
Mhm.
So. I think that's all I have, unless you have further questions about the financial report.
I do not. Beth or Linda, questions, comments?
No, thanks.
And
Okay.
if you're ever looking this over anytime and you have questions, feel free to just email me.
Mhm.
And Beth, if you have questions.
Yeah, no, I'm
it's,
good. I looked at it real quick. You know, I wasn't really familiar with it, so I looked at it real quick, but it looked decent, it looked good.
Good. And if you just want to go quickly each month before we meet and see what bills were paid, and what happens is it fills in the warrant and there are categories, and then the amount spent goes into whatever appropriate category. So
All right. Well, if there are no more questions or comments, I will move to approve the financial report as submitted.
I second. Beth Christensen, I second.
Okay. Roll call vote to approve the minutes as submitted. I, Lynette Wheeler, approve. Linda Yates,
I approve.
Beth Christensen.
I approve.
Financial, not minutes, financial report is approved unanimously as submitted. It has been a long day. All right. Old business with septic, you kind of just touched on it during your report. You're going to forward us the contract so we can all see that. Did you happen to talk to anybody about staking it out? So with the whole plant situation? During the meeting with the Friends of the Library,
friends, yeah,
Friends discussed their concern for having to move some plants, and there's a maple tree that they planted in the yard
right.
where
Yeah,
they kind of had like a little greenhouse. And
I
the
sent,
greenhouse, so they were concerned about having to move some of the flowers that were
yeah,
planted in the garden, and there was a tree that somebody had mentioned to one of the friends that was going to have to move, and so we're going to try to get confirmation.
yeah, I had, we made a little progress on that.
Okay.
I mean, I attempted to send Pat Smith the design, but she had a hard time looking at it. Yeah, it's a little tricky, but you can enlarge it and you can put a hand over it and you can move it around. And that's the only way. I mean, when you send it to someone, it's
Yeah.
minuscule and you can't see it.
Well, it's hard to see it on paper and then visualize where exactly on the property.
It is,
It's
but
gonna-
it also it spells out pretty clearly where the demarcation lines for things. But she did talk with Paul McKelko, who's on the Board of Health, came over and they went out and looked at the tree.
Okay, good.
They were asking about the cones. We have sinkholes from a tree they took down last fall. They're not major, but I just mentioned them to the highway department because, I mean, if they didn't do anything, it wouldn't have surprised me, but they did come over and put cones there so no one would fall in the hole because we didn't know how big the hole was going to get.
They put
I mean,
cones in
I've heard some terrible stories about sinkholes. I think Gene Mitchell had one
Yeah,
for us.
Gene had some stories.
All of a sudden, I was picturing a giant crater out there.
Yeah.
But anyway, what they're going to do, as of last time I spoke to them, because this is an ongoing thing, they're going to take that maple and they're going to plant it in a sinkhole. One
Oh,
of the sinkholes. I don't know which one, and I don't know if that's temporary. Anyway, my suggestion to the Friends was maybe you should wait until the project's done and then do your improvements. But
I think she just wants to save the tree. She's worried that some of the
yeah,
plants in the tree will be ruined when they start to come in with equipment
yeah.
to dig up.
So that was the plan, to save the tree. I hope that they hold off on the other stuff just so it doesn't get ruined,
Yeah,
because they're going to need somewhere to park their vehicles when they're doing the construction.
right.
And it's probably going to be right in the middle of their garden. So anyway,
So there's
I
no
wa-
place where they could move the plants on a temporary
Yeah,
basis?
I think they were mainly concerned just with that one, but there is a dogwood over here too.
she's
That's on the
gonna.
other corner.
It sounds like there's other plants though, like
There is.
garden plants.
Oh, garden plants. Yes,
we were
that's what
looking
they
at the for lack of a better term, patio area
Yep.
where they put up the screen house. There's two trees in the front. There's a dogwood and a maple. The maple is closer to where the septic is going to go, and Paul McKelk seems to think that it needs to be moved. So they're talking now to put that in one of the sinkholes. We have two sinkholes far to the left of where the garden is. this behind, so it's a big square, right? Behind the maple in this row down, she's planted bulbs. Daffodils and or daylilies, I think maybe.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
she wants to pull the bulbs and put them in pots.
Well, that's actually a good idea.
Over and then put them back.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So who wants to do that? I'm sorry,
Pat
my
Smith.
thing froze.
Oh, Pat Smith. I couldn't tell if you were looking at me really intently or if you were frozen.
I keep getting this thing that says my internet connection is unstable. At least I'm not unstable, but the connection is.
Hmm.
So
Pat,
the plan is that Pat would,
she's the head of the Friends of the Library group.
right, I know Pat.
So she wants to move whatever can be moved and save it if it's not going to survive construction. So when
Okay.
you're looking at the garden area, to the left is a dogwood, to the right, there's a maple.
Right,
Health feels that the maple has to be moved. So they're talking about moving that to one of the sinkholes, which I
Okay.
think is a good plan.
Mhm.
And then that row right behind the maple has bulbs. I believe she said it was daylilies, and there's some little shrubs, bushes.
Mhm.
So she was talking about pulling up the bulbs and putting them in pots to keep them until, and she would rather do that sooner than later because the longer they sit there,
Mhm.
the closer to they are to blooming and all that.
Right.
She wants to get that.
So she's gonna do that? Is
Yeah.
great, that's wonderful.
Mhm. I think that's a good idea. That'll save them.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Friends initiated, making that whole garden area. And they got donations to do a lot of it. I think Lowe's donated plants, and
Mm.
they got some people from the sheriff's department, to come out here and do the initial, they put down wood chips and all that. And,
Yeah, and she mentioned at the meeting too that she's gonna have the wood chips refreshed.
yes, yeah.
She's gonna wait
It's
until
been
after construction.
last summer, nothing really happened back there.
Yeah.
The former cabana got blown away one day. It was actually the day after Mark asked me, or was it, they was intending to take the thing down. And the very next day we had a terrible storm. And he had gone through so much work. He put little granite blocks and attached them to the thing. And I'm trying to help him out there. And he's like, I got it, So Mark Smith is a former trustee of the library. He's
Mhm.
one of the 3 trustees that hired me 8 years ago.
Hmm.
Anyway, he does a lot of work that Pat assigns for him to do.
Mhm.
So yeah, but they are great library contributors, the Smiths. So, but
The
anyway,
Friends
I'll feel a little better when we get word on when they're going to start. And Pat was out there again today, pointing and showing people things. So I think they're ready to start moving the tree.
Good.
I saw one, Beth.
Yeah. Yes, you did. He just arrived from outside somewhere.
Hi, Andrew.
You're on camera, Andrew.
He goes to school with my oldest.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So as long as Pat got the answer she needs, it sounds like, so that's good. And I just saw it come up in my email that Bob sent the septic contracts, so we can look at that.
That does include a copy of the site, the plan.
Oh, good.
So if you can't see it initially, there's a little hand thing.
Yeah,
You can move it and then you can just enlarge it.
perfect.
Okay.
And
So I don't really think we have much for new business. The only new business I would say would be if we had any opening plans. We don't really yet. Because we're just kind of in limbo, I think, waiting to see when septic work is going to start. Can we find out from them, like,
I asked Margaret that question today. I asked her, should I contact them? And she said, no, I will let you know.
okay, so Margaret
So
falls in Margaret's court.
yeah.
All right.
So she told me she would let me know as soon as they're ready to start. And I think before they even start, we'll have a little bit of advance warning because the highway Dave will have to have that construction fence set up before they come.
Okay.
I don't know what that's going to entail.
Yeah. Well, I just figure if we know kind of when they're going to start, if we can be open
Yeah.
to the appointment.
Just
if
when
we
they
go-
just said month of May, and that
Yeah, 'cause
doesn't
if
tell
it's
me
the
much,
end of
but
May-
hopefully in the next few weeks we'll know for sure.
Yeah, if it's the end of May, then maybe we could be open by appointment. Like next
Right.
week,
Yeah.
I don't know if you or Sarah want to send out an email. Next week is school vacation for the kids.
Right.
Well, people want to come and get books while they've got the kids home.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, as I mentioned, we're still going to do curbside pickup.
yeah,
My discussions with other library directors or our neighbors that have opened or opened by appointment, they're not getting as many takers as they thought they would. So I think
Yeah.
it's going to be a little bit slow to rebound. And I don't know about you folks. I got my first vaccination shot, and in a couple of weeks I'll get my second. So
get my second one next week.
I think we're not totally out of the woods.
Mhm.
And of course, as I keep saying over and over, every town situation is different, and we have by far the smallest library building.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know how much benefit it's going to be. I want to say we'll be open by appointment, but now I'm worried about when the septic starts. Like,
Mhm.
it's going to affect our parking, especially in children's, because people will have to come in the front to get
Mhm.
downstairs. And
Right.
but we do have things in place. I think if we wanted to open by appointment, we should be able to do that. It's also a matter of the staffing too. And even the interview process, when I start bringing people in to interview, I don't know. Am I going to bring them in the building? I'm probably going to meet them outside. I'll want to give them a tour of the building, but I'll
Mhm.
probably try to arrange the interviews for a Friday. I do like every applicant to meet the staff, the current staff. I want them to talk about what they do. I want them to feel comfortable with everybody that we interview and potentially hire as well.
Sure.
So that's been my method, and so far, so
Good.
good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do we know how long the project's gonna take once it starts?
No, that's a scary thing. I have no idea. I don't know if there's something in the contract
I
that
don't think
says,
it will take that long.
I was gonna say, it's just the septic.
right.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
shouldn't
It's a
take that long.
butterfly, so it's technically 2 tanks, but I really don't think it will take that long.
I don't think it'll take that long.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Meaning 2 months or 1 month? Or
I,
I
I
think in
would,
a month.
I would think, honestly, if it's all that they're doing, it really shouldn't even take a month.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know this company.
Yeah,
but
the limbo.
Then works in construction, and
Yeah,
I mean, it takes them a week to install
Yeah.
a septic system for a group of houses.
are they taking out the old one? Do we know?
Well,
Or
that's
is
a
there-
good question.
is
There really wasn't a septic system.
Okay.
It was more
Is
like
it cesspool?
more like a cesspool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We use so little water here. Beth.
Mhm.
It's,
Right.
it's, I mean, it's hand washing, basically,
Yeah.
and watering the garden in the summer.
Yep.
And we have bottled water,
Yeah.
so nobody's drinking it. And now with no patrons in the building,
Right.
we're using even less, but
Yeah.
even with patrons in the building, we didn't use a lot. So
Right.
So moving on, I don't think we have any more new business stuff. So moving on to trustees concerns. Did you hear anything in the department head meetings at all about how much longer we have to meet via Zoom? Like, I know if it were up to the 4 of us, I feel like everyone would be okay meeting outside of the library, but
Yeah.
it's a public meeting, and I don't know if there's still limitations on
right?
Not that we ever have an audience, but I don't know if that's what prevents us from being able to meet.
It didn't
Right.
come up at our meeting this morning, so
Okay.
I'm thinking that they're still planning to do Zoom for a while.
Okay,
There was some talk about the town office building opening again fully.
okay,
Right now, they're open by appointment only.
yeah,
And town meeting is going to be on the 15th.
the 15th?
It's going to be like a spread out. They're going to
That was the 24th. Oh, no, the vote is the 24th.
Yeah, the vote is the 24th, yep.
vote is the 24th, so it's May 15th, which is a Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Oh, my gosh.
But then they're also having a second session on Monday at 6:30. And it's going to be outside like last year. And they providing clickers for people to vote. It's the first time they've done it in this town.
What's
Yes.
a clicker? What do you mean a
If
clicker?
you push a button to
Yeah.
cast the vote.
Yeah. So rather than raise your hand, you click a button and it just automatically tabulates.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah. So it should speed things up a little bit.
Are we doing the same meeting on the 15th and the 17th, or is it like part one, part two?
Part one, part two, and then potentially, if needed, they're going to meet again on Tuesday. Last year's town meeting was a world record because it took
Yeah.
about 2 hours at the most.
Yeah,
And usually they're sitting there 2 hours and they barely get through a couple of articles.
Right,
I think
right.
there's
Yeah.
35 or
What's the
39
election?
articles.
is the
Wow.
election 25th?
Sorry? Oh, yeah, the election?
Is the 25th? That's a Tuesday, right?
The 24th.
The 24th, that's a Monday.
Yeah, Monday, May 24th, 12 to 8
Yep.
is voting hours.
Okay,
And the voter registration opens May 14th.
okay. All right,
So you'll be running as well, Beth?
I will. Yep,
Okay.
I'm already on the ballot.
Okay, great.
have they released the ballot?
I don't know. People have said that I'm on there.
Okay, I hadn't seen it yet. Usually they post it
Yeah.
in the general
Yeah.
store.
Yeah, they
I-
usually bring one by the library and I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah. Unless she's, I don't know.
We should both be on it.
Yep.
I
I would
hope.
think
I
so.
dropped my nomination papers off in the green box because you can't go in the town offices.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully
I
Eloise.
did, mention that Beth was, had taken this interim and that she had been sworn in and that both of you were going to be running. So,
All right. Does anybody have
Right.
anything else?
I do not.
I don't think so. I don't have anything.
Bob, are you all set?
I think I'm all set.
All right, I will move to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
We need a second and we need to.
And Lindy, 8 seconds, sorry.
No problem. All right, a roll call vote to adjourn the meeting. Lynette Wheeler, I move to adjourn. Lindy Yates,
I approve.
Beth Christensen.
I approve.
All right, meeting adjourned at 5:54 p.m.
Yahoo.